on the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt, and only someone as ADHD or neurodivergent as you would find this and actually would be able to actually watch the end. Because you've been getting cold. You know you've been getting cold. We all have, just in our different ways. And it's time for you to just take that next step. In fact, not just the next step, but the next leap. And so what we're going to do today is share a little bit about that process, because it feels like a very potent and powerful day. So I'd love for you to hang with me. I've got my computer. I'm going to grab a few different notes, a couple of things that are going on today. And really, this is for those that are feeling like they're the weird one, the odd man out, the black sheep of the family, the ones that don't fit in this society, that never could work a normal job, that could never could just do the things that their mom and dad wanted them to do. This is who this is for. And so what I want you to understand today is that there's a lot of energy shifting on the globe. And that energy is affecting you too, because your body is a mirror image of the energy of the globe, or the sphere, or the body of Earth, or whatever we're going to call it. The thing is that there's a lot shifting, and so that means there's a lot shifting in you as well. If we look up in the Mayan calendar today, today is the number 5, which is a day of work, and this is the day sign Ben. Ben is like what we call it Ach in the Guatemalan language. I'm going to show this to you. This is a great website, xzone.com.au/Tzolkin. Fantastic website for referencing the Mayan calendar. But what this tells me is it tells me that we're going through an energy shift in our spinal column. And there's going to be a lot of work being done for you, but we're mixed with the day sign. We're in the 13-day period of Toch, which means, basically it means the offering. And so we're in a 13-day period where the offering is really, it actually feels like we're being offered something for our work. But in this time of offerings, we give gifts, we make offerings so that we can receive. The process has already started. But if we look at a couple of days from now, let me just turn my camera. If we look at a couple of days from now and we go 1, 2, 3 to the 8th day, which is on Tuesday, December 9th, we see that on this day, we have a day of ceremony, 8, and we have the day sign Kib, which is like the vulture. This is the human who makes errors, the human who makes mistakes. So on this day, this is a fantastic time for us to make ceremony, to essentially give the gifts to God's source, the ether, the earth, I don't care, call it what you want. But as you transmute that energy into a gift, a burnt offering ideal, it's just the most easy, traditional, fastest way to do it. Burn something that has value to you, but that you've charged more with value than just like what the cash value is. But it's something that you can make. You can just literally pick up leaves and turn it into an offering. You can use pine cones. You can use the bones of a dead plant or a dead animal. Anything can turn into this. You don't have to just buy it, but make an offering and burn it. And then on that day, what you can do is you can just say like whatever version for you of, yo, family or God or Jesus, like I don't care. Again, call it what you want. Some sort of higher power. I want to get rid of all this crap that I've been keeping in my family bloodline because it's been preventing me from being a super magical, superhero, super being. So if I can do that on the 8th, which is again, Tuesday, December 9th, then you're going to open yourself for even higher levels of genetic upgrades. The energy that will be able to channel through you, much like the Mayans used to use ceremony to channel energy, much like any society uses ritual to channel energy. Go to a church anywhere in the world and you'll see what I mean. But what you're going to do is you're going to channel that energy into your body. Now, here's my recommendation. In order to channel a higher level of energy, you need to be able to eat better. You need to be able to sleep better. You need to be able to communicate better. You need to get your shit done. And also, paradoxically enough, in order for you to do all those things better, you need this energy that's going to come to you, right? This is a quantum paradox. And the quantum paradox states that there is an infinite field of intelligence. Let's say we're all bound together, but space-time is a construct useful for us right here, right now. So if we play with space-time, then what we can do is essentially just like download information and just speak what we need to speak, much like what's happening right now. So you can start that today. The process has already started working on you. Number 5. on your spinal column, that is the day sign Ach. That is the spinal column. It is the leader. Ah, perfect. It's the leader. Oh, wow. This makes so much more sense now. So if we go here, back to today, we see this is the spinal column, but it's also the leader, the leadership archetype. So anybody that tunes in now or at any point in time in the future, yeah, we've got Wahib, Wahib, Okay. Yeah. So basically, the thing that you need to know at this moment is that you're already tuned in, you're already dialed in, you will be dialing in. Even if you dial in a little bit late, you're still going to be able to dial in because time and space, again, malleable, relative, as in relative to me, relative to the way I'm thinking, relative to my body, relative to my energetic field, relative to the emotions that I'm transmitting, relative to the visions that I hold in my mind. There's so much that needs to be taken into perspective here. And I'm like, understand that your subconscious mind keeps you alive. Like, if you would look at all of the things that we have done to get to this point right here, all of the things that you had to do, all the bills you had to pay, all the shit jobs you had to work, all of those things led you to right here in this moment, even if it's sometime in the future. But it led you right here. And that is a powerful synchronicity. That is statistically impossible. And yet, here we are, now and forever going forward. The idea is that we have themutantacademy.com, the Mutant Academy official here on YouTube, the Mutant Academy pretty much everywhere else, doing our best. So we're here to support the awakening of humanity. And y'all neurodivergent folks need to switch the way your brain gets fed and the way it is mixed. The way that you think needs an update because someone's turned it against you quite some time ago. And it wasn't just in this lifetime. This lifetime you've gotten a pretty wicked dose because you're alive in the 2000s. But you've been getting all kinds of weird social manipulation for lifetimes. And the one here, if you have been born like me in the Pluto in Scorpio, like my Pluto, I was born when Pluto was in Scorpio so that it knew that in like 20, 30, 40 years, I would be having, as Pluto's been like activated in the astrological realm in Aquarius. I have a moon in Aquarius. The moon is my emotional world, and my ability to like rationalize and think about and understand the mechanics of emotions allows me to be very good at what I do. And it's super fun because you can read people without them saying a word. But you don't use it for ill will. You just use it to understand the landscape that you're in. Everybody does it. Like, well, anybody of merit and of worth. It's not because we're sizing things up. It's because we're sensing things. We're open. We're listening. We're curious. We know that we get lots of data coming in. And when we can open up into a peripheral field, like I'm doing right now, I'm looking around as if I were a hunter, and having my eyes in an open, wide peripheral view actually allows me to feel held. I feel safe because I know and I can feel everything happening around me. I don't extend much beyond the wall of my courtyard because that wall, beyond that, is traffic and chaos and young Arabic children running around and yelling, "Muhammad!" Like, it's hilarious. I love it so much. I finally was on the rooftop and I said hi and I started asking them how old they are in Egyptian Arabic, and they looked at me like I was absolutely mental. And then they started, and then I taught them how to say my name is Ahmad. They didn't get the is part because they don't have that structure in their language, so it doesn't translate as easily, even though they're children. But I found out that one is Khadashar, Hoa, Andu, Hedashar Sinan, Sana, which means that he's 14 years old. Had to really like open into the peripheral view and just let my unconscious mind access that. That's the beauty of living in the peripheral, living in an open, receptive sight mode. And then when something needs your focus, you can boom, drop in and you can focus so much better than some people. There's 7 different types of ADD or ADHD from what I was just reading from Dr. Amen. He tells that there's 7 different types. I looked mine up, and I believe that I am the... Where am I at? I gotta look at my AI thing here. So basically the idea is, yeah, identifying the ADD types. So there's 7 different types. Yeah, classic ADD, inattentive ADD. So classic is distractible, impulsive, and hyperactive. So let me just go ahead and shut that. Can we... Yeah, try so I don't have to hold this. So this is my personal account. You can see that there's a lot of interesting stuff up there. I bet you get a curious window into my life by reading those titles. What I want you to do is I want you to look at this and I want you to see like, okay, if you have this many types of AD, then which one do you resonate? The one I hear the most about in the media and the one that's typically diagnosed, the ones that are first to get diagnosed because they're the most probably irritating to deal with in the classroom. We've got number 2, the inattentive, the one that looks out the window, live life as a farmer, lives life as a dreamy daydreaming, find new food for 4 days because he just gorged on a bunch of like liver and organs and intestines and muscle meat with his whole community. The over-focused, that's actually the one that I came up as. Hyper-focused, stuck in loops. Pfft, no joke, stuck in loops. Oh my God. Difficulty shifting attention. Yeah, for me, it's definitely like once I get my attention on something, clear the calendar because I'm not gonna have the capacity to go further with what I was doing beforehand. Temporal lobe, super interesting. Mood swings, right? This is really people that have this tremendous, they're so short because their emotional system's kind of been hijacked and underdeveloped. And so, yeah, the temporal lobe affects so much of the mood and time perception. So we have just a different type of irritable person. We've got the limbic, which is the person who is emotionally strained all the time. The lack of development in the limbic system, which is like the monkey brain, which is like the way that we feel. That's the one that's easiest to understand what people are actually going through. Because yours is so primitive that it can read theirs just like a book, if you allow yourself to do it. Ring of fire, overstimulation. Yeah, so this one, this is like the one that is the introvert, because the world is so loud that they end up withdrawing because like they're so sensitive to the moods and the energy of other people around them. And so they do their best to minimize, or they often numb or distract. All of us do, but this one especially. That's why they call it the ring of fire. Anxious, AD, stuck in the future. Probably also worrying about mistakes, yeah, for sure, because those past mistakes inform the fears that you're gonna have with the mistakes that you might make and having this performance anxiety. But look, if you came here to be a mutant, then you need to look this shit up. So get it done out. I just had it turn it into an article. I'm gonna share that with you. I was just, this is a tool that I use, and I think it's a very powerful tool. Of these tangents, then my God, you are so neurodivergent that 20 minutes, if I can hold your attention for 20 minutes, like, bro, clearly this message is meant for you. Now, here's the thing. Are we doing a transmission? No. Shutting it down a little. Okay, so we're gonna go a little longer. There's definitely something here at the end for you. I want you to stick with me. Because if you're with me right now, I mean, you're probably going to finish to the end, but it's good to note. You can always just log back on and we'll fire it up again. But look, there's definitely something that you need to be aware of. And then that's just you. You need to be aware of you. You need to be aware of your environment, your energetic surroundings. You need to be aware of the people that you surround yourself with. You need to be aware of the weather and how it affects you, the food and how it makes you feel. There's so many inputs of data and matter and energy or synthetic energy in this body of yours. There's so much energetic just tension happening in your system that until you let that go and start to release it, you're gonna be stuck in the same thing over and over again. So if you're just joining now, go ahead and watch the beginning because there's a lot of good information for you. It's okay if you came in a little bit late. You're not late, you're perfectly on time. In fact, we're always on time. No matter what's happening, no matter where we go, we're always on time. Even if for some reason you decided to take the trajectory that made things a little bit more difficult for you in this life for like a couple of extra months or years or I don't know, whatever, just know that it was all on purpose. It was all by design. In fact, I can look at the numbers of people tuning in and not worry about it because there's going to be enough people tuning into this that need to hear my voice and my energy. And that's always true. Even after this thing posts and is living there on the internet, people are still going to tune in and they're going to watch this and they're going to get that message that they needed to get God, well, right now, because it's always right now and it's always the perfect time. All of that being said, I want to remind you that the books that you grew up reading, the shows you grew up watching, the music you ended up listening to, they all hold messages for you. They all hold messages for you. It could be the songs impregnated traumas for relationships or issues around confidence in you because the words that you sang were like, heartbreak, living in hell. You know, like that kind of stuff affects you. It really does. It programs you. That's why concerts are so big. Sports events and concerts, we put a lot of energy into. Why? Ask yourself why. If you've never liked sports, if you're that kid who's just like, sports are stupid, sports teams are stupid, having sports teams jerseys are stupid, looking at each other and being like, I hate you because of your sports team jersey. If you've ever thought that that was just absolutely dumb and asinine, awesome. So did I. I got forced to go when I was a kid, and one time I had access to a buffet at a college football game, and I was so bored out of my mind that I ate a whole like bucket of in-a-shell peanuts. I drank like 3 or 4 liters of Coke, like a gallon of Coke, and then I went home and I woke my mom up in the middle of the night because I threw up in my bed. Core memory. Core memory. I love you, Mom. It doesn't really matter how you would have acted at that time, but that moment really, really programmed me with a tremendous amount of emotional and psychological challenges. But that's what you needed to do. We designed it like that. God, Source designed it like that. Intelligence designed it like that, which is cool. Even I needed to be somebody who smoked cannabis at a very young age, right? It's something that I've gone through phases with. I walk away from it and then sometimes it invites itself back into my life. But this time is really cool. I have the discernment to say, yeah, this might be a good thing, but I'm going to take my time. And that's something I bet you don't know how to do very well. Impulse control. Oof, impulse control. Especially when you live in a society that wants to put so many titillating, exciting, delicious little things in your world to tempt you so that your impulse control issues will become absolutely chaotic. And you'll probably end up in a ditch somewhere. I don't know. I'm not saying that was my reality. I do not project that onto anybody else. By the way, as always, you can just open up your senses and listen a little more. Open up into peripheral vision. You'll still see me. You'll see everything you need to see. But if you open up to peripheral vision and you look at everything around you right now, even if you're driving a car, just open up your vision wide and just sense and see more. Whether even you're on lock screen or whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to get exactly what you need. And just open up your vision. And then as you notice that instead of looking for things, things are finding you and pouring themselves into your eyes. As you notice that, I want you to go ahead and do the same thing with your nose. And just take a deep breath in and smell. And hold that breath in and then let it go. And then take a nice, slow, controlled, deep breath. If you're driving, be very careful because these techniques can be very, very energetic. And so what I want you to do is just be aware of what's happening. Open up, perceive a little bit more, allow the sounds, including my voice, to kind of just enter into you like liquid being poured into a funnel rather than you having to go seek things out. There are times when you feel really safe, when you feel like you're in the right spot, when you trust your intuition, that you can open yourself up so much more, and you can receive so much more of the world of creation, of reality, of God expressing itself through your senses. Like, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. The whole thing, your whole life, it's all in your head. It is a game. It is a video game or a consciousness game or an AI game. I don't care. Whatever it is. Even if it's the most wicked like set of VR goggles in another reality where I'm just like Total Recall style, like plugged into a chair and like at some point in time because I wake up from the Matrix. I don't care what it is because this is exciting. Like I can live like Indiana Jones if I want to. I can pick any of the childhood heroes from the books, the TV shows. Oh man, we finally came back around. That was a tangent. If you were just logging on, you missed such a tangent. You got to go back and watch the thing again because, yeah, before minute 27, it was just fire, and then all of a sudden you joined. So, have a sip of my chocolate, and then what else are we going to talk about? Opening up and breathing more in. So as you breathe more in and listen to me, whether you chuckled about that massive tangent that happened again or not, whether you chuckled about that, you're just able to receive more of life. Right? There is the hunter knows perfectly how to balance the masculine and the feminine energy because as he walks through the forest, he is open and receptive, allowing all of these sensory stimulations to come into his reality or her reality. And then this person can walk through the forest so open that if there's a micro shift in energy, a sound, just a little bit of a color shift, that person can hone in on it and zoom in and be able to really just feel and focus at such a level. Sound like your hyper-focus sessions at all? The thing is, if you know how to use your attention, because this is a game of attention, this is a simulation of attention, if you know how to use your intention and your attention, then you can dominate this game. The book that wants to be shared with you right now is The Four Agreements, foundational literature when it comes to understanding how to create your reality. If you have not read The Four Agreements, this is your message. Just go read it, or audiobook, or God, I don't know, have AI just give you a book summary or something like that. Have AI take your life story that you've been feeding to it for the last year and then have it create a story of your own life and just shortcut it and make it a, you know, a non-fiction fiction novel. And then there you go. You've just created your whole life story. You've sold it. Now you can sell it. People can buy it, pour into you as they consume the things in your life that were important and challenging, the things that you used to learn and to grow. As you do that and you share that with the world, you'll give other people access to your message. You're receiving this message because I'm receiving this message. There's so much more potency and power in your words, in your thoughts, in the way that you act, the way that you are. You are a model of behavior for a reason. You came here because you're here to share something. And I'm not saying that you're perfect right now because guess what? You're not. Neither am I. I'm never going to be perfect. And that's why I'm perfect. I'm perfect because I'm never going to be perfect. And that is the way that we designed it. That's the way that the creator designed it. If we came here to be perfect, trust me, there is another dimension and another planet and another world where you can do that. And your consciousness is going to be far more accessible to you in that world. But you're right here on Earth in this place, dimension, flat disk, surrounded by an ice wall. I don't know, whatever. Whatever this video game is, because it's all a video game, you know, reality is relative. But whatever this is, you came here to play, and you came here to play at a higher level. You came here to play at a higher level. You came here to play at a higher level. So allow that message to provoke something in you. Even if you share this video, this live with somebody else on your friends list that you know would really, truly appreciate this message, or if you just share it later, the idea is that there are people that need to hear this message. There's you that needs to hear this message. You have a story, you have a way of being, you have a way of, you see the world that needs to be shared. And it's because you're exactly where you are in your life right now. And that means that there's somebody or some people that are going to be just a few steps behind you right now. And they need to see exactly what you've done in this last step so that they can then take the leap. We're evolving on the backs of our past lives and our ancestors. We are lifting ourselves up by activating each other and awakening each other. We are waking each other up because we came here to do that. And so if you're watching this now or in the future, again, I don't care how many people see it because Source knows exactly who needs to see this. This message will be seen by exactly who Source knows that it needs to be seen by, and I trust that, and I choose to trust that. I speak it out loud. And any aspects of me that are in resistance to this next level of growth that I'm experiencing can just, all the fractured parts of me can come out onto this hand and then be witnessed and seen and heard. And all aspects that are in favor of this next chapter can do the same thing. And you can do this as well. Put all of the resistant aspects, just imagine them like little toy figures or little comic book characters in your hand, and there's like one predominant one that is a younger version of yourself that you see, and then I want you to look at the other hand, and the other hand's filled with everyone that's cheering you on. And it's also led by a younger version of you, but a younger version of you who was like, magic is real and let's go, like age 5, 6, 7, where it's like anything was possible. Anything was possible because look at this reality. This place is insane. Like, how are we not having more fun here? What, you're gonna tell me, mom and dad, that I gotta work my entire life when I have the capacity to create my own reality? Are you kidding me? You're gonna drug me and you're gonna sedate me because you want me to sit in a chair for 8 hours a day? Okay, you know what? I love you anyways. But here I am right now, and I can heal this because right now I have every part that's resistant, and I have that version of myself, and I have every part that's in support of this process, and I have that younger version of myself. And I hold my hands just out in front a little bit, my elbows clear of my body, and I take nice deep breaths in through the nose, slow out of the mouth. You can do this with your eyes open while driving. Just be here and imagine this is happening, even if it's happening in the back recesses of your brain where you have just a little bit more computing power. Taking some nice deep breaths and sighing them out. And then you're gonna close your eyes if you can safely and keep your eyes open if you need to be safe. That's all good. And I want you to just continue taking breaths. And if you have your hands on a steering wheel, of course, just imagine this happening. You don't need to use your hands. You can keep your hands on the wheel, be safe and respectful. But now, you're gonna take some deep breaths, and with each deep breath, you're gonna imagine that these parts are coming together and they're looking at each other and they're seeing all of the gifts that each part has to offer, the ones that are in resistance to where you wanna go and the one that really wants to just like super have a next level quantum jump into the next dimension, kind of a level up. And I want you to just take deep breaths and just notice that your hands start to become closer and closer together until one sits on top of the other. And it's as if by magic that your hands come together like this. And then all of a sudden you bring the lower hand and you bring it up to your chest, or you imagine doing this if you can't use your hands, and you bring it into your body. You take a deep breath with your eyes open or closed. It doesn't matter. Whatever's safest for you, you take a deep breath in, and the next breaths you're just breathing in and you're noticing how every aspect of your consciousness that was once shattered, like a broken mirror, you see all of those shatters, of all energetically you see them in your mind. They all form back into one solid piece of glass. And that one solid piece of glass comes into its wholeness and it shows you who you are. And you don't need to see exactly who it is right now because you can visit this mirror any time that you need to. Breathing in the energy of whatever it is that you see inside of the mirror, that future version of yourself, the self that came here to fulfill your mission, that came here to be 2, 10, 5, 12, 36 steps ahead of you. I trust that you will see in your consciousness, whether you watch this now or later, whatever it is that you need to see in order to receive the messages that you're here to receive at this time. Again, you can always go back to the beginning and watch this again, or watch it for the first time if you're just tuning in. Welcome to the awakening. Welcome to the renacimiento, the rebirthing. It's time, and you know, to call this a rebirth is like, yeah, Scorpio season, we kind of just like the autumn. Oh my God, everything was falling off of the branches of the tree, and like new connections are happening in wild times, and whatever's happening based on your personal astrology is happening. But whatever it is, I guarantee you it's got to be big, because if you're watching right now, then you have the capacity to channel a tremendous amount of energy. In fact, it would take you a certain amount of energy to be able to dial into this transmission right now. Otherwise, your unconscious mind wouldn't have seen it because it knows that you wouldn't have been ready for it. So if you're here, awesome. If you just got here, go back and watch the whole thing over again. The point is that you're here and welcome, and I'm gonna enjoy a little chocolate and then we'll continue the conversation. I figure I'll probably go for an hour. So if y'all wanna hang out for that long, dear God, go ahead. You can also download the video, save it to watch later, because yeah, no doubt that there's things here for you. But if you have an ADHD attention span, you could be like me and you could just end up cramming it in one day. You might cram it during a road trip. You might gobble up the whole thing over the course of the next couple of weeks, listening to 5 or 10 minutes at a time, whatever feels good for you. Like, I think that's the best thing, is just trust yourself. Like, this showed up, so listen to it for much or as long as you need. I'm letting go of any not personal responsibility, I'm letting go of any need to force who is watching this right now, pardon me, that's the medicine of the cacao doing its healing on my belly, sacral, and my throat. Ooh, that one almost came up. The thing is that we're all going through a healing process, and when you heal, even emotionally, especially emotionally, mentally, your body changes, your chemistry changes. And so the choice is for you to support that change or to resist that change. When you feel sick, oftentimes the powers that be would recommend that you take a pill because the aspirin or the fever reducer or the cough syrup or whatever it is the thing that just needs to slow you down right now. And they want to slow you down. So look, there's a difference between numbing, pacifying, and surrendering. I had the idea multiple times over the last several weeks that I needed to reconnect with the plant medicine of cannabis. I thought, okay, I'm curious about that. I'm not here condoning the consumption of or not. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, the laws or whatever they are in your business, state, country thing, where I am, I stay away from it because, yeah, there's really no point over here. But whatever you do or don't do with this substance, it's just really important to know that it must be done with a lot of intention and a lot of space and time. Having appointments and meetings and big chore lists and to-dos is not going to be helpful for you. So it's best to, if you have a lot of responsibilities, to farm them out to somebody who can help you out. Farm out. God, the language is built into this system. This industrial agricultural slave system is really wild. Yeah, slavery in its modern form evolved from agricultural slavery and empire. And so I just want you to remember that you're here where you are right now with all the technology because you came into this life with a certain genetic programming and predisposition into a society that programmed you from birth in order to help you to be exactly the way that you want you to be. And look, they are us. We are them. It's all one. Consciousness is all one. Source is all one. I am source. Source is me. I am you. You are me. Source is you. You are source. Whoo! That's some beat poetry right there. So the idea is for you to have the most effect in this life, you must learn how to surrender, to open. I had thoughts about this weeks ago, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna take steps. I'm gonna make measures and take measures. I'm gonna actually open up my AI and say, hey, give me a very balanced, grounded, spiritual yet practical system for understanding my intuition right now in relationship to this thing that's presenting itself to me in my reality. Cannabis can then thereby become a symbol, a signal, a yes or a no. And even if your choice point is to arrive at cannabis and go, no, I don't need it. No, don't need it. Or, ooh, I don't feel good about that. Or, no, I just know that that's not for me. Then cool, don't do it. It's up to you how you handle your life, and this is not a recommendation for or against. I'm simply sharing a story, an educational story, using this fictional narrative. So the idea here is that we are all one, and you're watching this for a purpose. Energy is resetting right now, so we're going to give that a second. If you're tuning into this, cool, welcome. Energy is resetting, so it's probably another message that's coming in for you. I guess that's the cool thing about doing things live is that you can just trust whoever needs to log on, just logs. Don't have to worry about sharing it. Like, it'll just share itself. Love it. That's beautiful clarity right there. That might even be a message for a few of you. All right, so my name is Headmaster Christopher. I am the headmaster of the Mutant Academy. This is an online mutant mastermind where we come together and we awaken our gifts and our skills and our abilities by learning how to create mastery in the self, in awareness, in conscious application of energy, in the maneuvering and navigating of this life and time-space reality. That is what we do here. If that's something that you're interested in, come and hang out. We got lots more coming. We got more lives, we got programs, we got courses, we got upgrades, we got retreats, we've got one-on-one coaching, we've got all the things that you need in order to accelerate your transformation. And if at any point in time you feel like you have a little bit to do with this mission, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me at, we're gonna go with, you can find me at connect@risewithchristopher.com. or you can find me at headmaster@themutantacademy.com. There, what you're going to be able to do, ooh, I probably should put that in the comment. Can I do that in a comments? Nope, chat filter. Go, this is going to be an interesting one. Start a poll, start a Q&A. Let's do that. Let's say, when did you wake up? Share story. Nice. Start Q&A. Oh, this is fantastic. When did you wake up? Share your story. I'm excited about this. Let's give some people the ability to let's give some people the ability to share their story. So for anybody that's logging on here, what we can do is go ahead and share your story. And you can drop it in the comments, and we'd love to learn about it. We'd love to learn how you started to. Are you currently in that process? Where are you right now? This is like a Q&A, like a call-in show, I guess. So go ahead and drop your comment below, and I'd love to hear more about it. For me, how I woke up was fascinating. It's not one time. It was always a trajectory, but I'd say the moment that was a real pivot point for me was when it stemmed in the divorce with my ex-wife, but really it was when I stopped drinking alcohol. It had messed up my life in so many different ways. I could not seem to just let go of it. I was still, even though I was much more mindful, reading books about alcohol mindfulness, dropping, actually helping try to teach other people about alcohol consumption mindfulness, even going so far as to host a jazz and wine pairing event. Did that twice with a friend of mine who does a jazz trio. And we did a pairing with 3 different wines, and he made 3 different songs. It was really cool. And after that, by the time we did the second event, I was already taking a year off of alcohol as a way to reset my calibration with alcohol. So I said, I'm going to take a year off alcohol. I started sharing about it on Instagram, and people followed. They were inspired by it, and it was an energy. It helped me keep myself accountable. It was like, by doing this, I said, okay, shit, I got to do it now, because if I say I'm going to do a 28-day challenge to do something, then I got to hold it. I got to hold that challenge and do it here. So crap. So that probably means that I'm going to do a 28-day challenge for myself, because it is the full moon. And I'm going to go full moon to full moon of doing doing full-on animal-based diet, fruit, dairy. I might even take 2 weeks off of dairy later on, but we'll see later. And then I'm going to make sure that I take a picture of myself every day to see how I transform, do a daily check-in, whether it's a video, live, or let's call it a community post. So we're going to go ahead and do that. That sounds pretty cool. Because when I woke up, I went from working as a sommelier, a certified wine taster. I was a certified beer taster, a cicerone, which means host in Italian, but they say it a little differently. And so I became this version of myself after many events, but after the trajectory shift of when I stopped drinking alcohol. So when I stopped drinking alcohol, everything changed. My energy changed, my attitude changed. I had already started meditating, which was pretty good, because my life was so wrecked that I just needed something. And actually, I highly recommend transcendental meditation for people that are highly neurodivergent, because it's so good at training the mind and helping you to develop focus. So 20 minutes of a mantra meditation, you can just look up how to do a mantra meditation. You just pick a word. It could be a sacred phrase in another language, something that you don't have necessarily like a lifetime of emotions tied to, but something that is inspirational and awakening, like Sat Nam, which is a classic one in the Kundalini yoga tradition, because Sat Nam, is it like I am the creator? Waheguru, I am the guru inside, or I celebrate the guru inside. I have everything that I need. All I need to do is awaken everything in myself, and then the truth will come. So if that's the message that you need to receive, then it's just like, hey, what is it in my life that I need to get rid of right now? Am I ready to go to Egypt and dive in for 7 days and go through the most powerful transformation process that I've ever experienced? Visiting the sacred sites, the ley lines, the highly energetic places, the healers who know how to reset your energetic and micro and macro wiring system. the land that knows how to charge you with exactly the energy of the reawakening, of the calling in and ushering in of a new time. Because it's not just me who's going around and celebrating and claiming and like proclaiming that this is a time of human awakening. So many people are doing it. But the cool thing is that the more of us that do it, then it just becomes that way, because there's enough energy pulsing through this concept that everything is the awakening of consciousness, and every day things get better and better, and every day I make more money, every day I have more gifts and abilities that are coming online, every day I have more peace and prosperity in my life, every day you have more peace and prosperity in your life. Funny thing, if you use affirmations, sometimes you need to write them as a you, because more energy clearing. If you grew up with neurodivergent nervous system, then that means that you were yelled at, judged, put in a weird spot, drugged, medicated, whatever. Like, you were put into some very tricky situations. So that means that you got a little bit more of the unwiring to do. That's cool, don't worry about it, because actually the things that you had to experience as a child helped amplify the things that actually will become your gifts. Bing. Me having studied wine and having learned how to open myself up to a sensory experience so deeply as to taste a glass of wine that was poured from a bottle that was vinted 200 years ago, that is poured for you now and mixing with the now current modern ambient air level in a certain area, and is opening in a certain way, giving you the most unique taste that is possible. Just like I do the same thing with this cacao or this moment in time. And the more present that you are, the more that you receive transmissions from this. And remember that the more open you are from your heart center, from your body grounded, from your mental space clear, the more that you are all of those things, the more that you can be you. To put it plain and simple, the more that you can be you. You can be you more if you open yourself up to be yourself more. If that's the case, then let's fucking rock and roll. So, yeah, I need to send this to people in the Mutant Academy, because guess what? If you're watching this right now, somehow you dialed in, cool. Mutant Academy, the Mutant Mastermind is launching soon. Deep breakthrough transformation process in person or in Egypt if you want to do the full retreat. And what we're doing from there is we're going through a whole rewiring process. We're recalibrating your body, and then you're putting you into the Mutant Academy, and you're getting a seat at the school. We only have 13 seats starting right now, the first wave, and we're going to be accepting applications beginning in December, right? Basically now. And we're going to accept applications through the end of the year, and then you will know beforehand if you've been accepted, but there's only 13 spots, so you need to come. It's first come, first serve. We're not opening for more than 13 people because it gets a little, can you imagine having 13 mutants sitting in the same Zoom channel? Are you kidding me? The energy would be phenomenal, because you're going to bring your energy, you're going to bring yourself, and as we gather together in the table around the mastermind table, the Zoom channel that we're going to be in doing our regular weekly or bi-weekly calls, I don't know the structure yet, I don't need to know because Source knows, but what's going to happen is that you're going to check in with us, and you're going to get these downloads whenever you need them. You're going to be more regularly tapped into, because you're going to invest in a process where we are guiding you, we are supporting you, we are helping you every step of the way. Because look, you came into this life with a powerful nervous system that is dumbed down and short-circuited by living in the society that you grew up in, wherever that is. Because if you grew up wherever you did and you're tuning in right now or in the future or whenever, it means that you have a lot of gifts, and those gifts are important and they need to be brought online. So we're ready for you, we're excited for you, and stick around, because here at the Mutant Academy you're going to get the support that you need. 13 people, round table, very much, there's we create the circle. The mastermind is the circle because we're all at the same level, right? I, as the one who opens and initiates the channel, am simply choosing the role of King Arthur. Look, I don't say that with arrogance. I say that as the geometric leverage point that is necessary to get the form to begin to form. Without me stepping up and saying, I'm going to pull the sword out of the stone, I'm going to then, I don't know, knight some knights. Like, those are the people that are going to step in line with me. And if any of this energy makes sense to you, if you're into mythology, if you're into archetypes, if you're into psychology, oh my God, you're going to love this so much. And if you're not into those things, if you like leveling up and making your life better and making more money doing the thing that you love the most, then come hang out with me, because that's what we're going to do. because we came here to be the masters of these video games. We came here to level up to level 99. And yeah, sometimes it might mean going to a generator spot, having a bunch of like orcs or whatever come out and just like one at a time, leveling up, leveling up, leveling up, leveling up. And when you do that, boom, you can roll around like a boss in this game because you have invested the energy, you have taken your focus and paid it into an investment that energetically will pay off in massive dividends. We're going for just like another 8 minutes or so. So if you're here, what I want you to know is I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about my process, how we do this thing. And the funny thing is I'm kind of just like spitballing it right now because yeah, if I keep postponing it and I don't create some sort of a sense of accountability, even if it's through this video and through you, it's just never going to happen. So what we're going to do is beginning the middle of January, we are going to open fully the Mutant Academy. And that means that we are going to be taking applications. Information is in the comments and in the stories and all this stuff coming in over the next period of days. I'm doing a 28-day challenge where I'm actually changing the way that I'm eating while simultaneously committing to just a handful of little ADHD hacks that I'm going to do in order to create my life in the way that feels most optimal for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transmit over the next 28 days. I'm going to be traveling for most of it because my house is occupied for 3 weeks. So Spirit is telling me to get out of the house, whether I stay in Dahab or go to Cairo or Luxor, it doesn't matter. Ooh, Cairo would be good. We're going to do some events in Cairo. We're going to do some events in Cairo. And why not do some events in Cairo? I don't know when they're going to happen. I don't know where they're going to happen, but they're going to happen. Probably for the next few weeks. We've got a couple of weekends that I'll be in Cairo.